Hi, I'm disability lawyer David Brannon. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what happens with long-term disability after 2 years. After watching this video, you'll understand more about this 2-year thing you keep hearing about and how it can apply to your situation so you can avoid problems and try to ensure that your benefits continue. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please comment if you have anything. That really helps, and we look forward to replying to you. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you'll get notice of these videos when we publish them once or twice a week. It's important to know that with long-term disability plans, the way you qualify for benefits is through a definition of total disability. The plan will include what it means to be totally disabled, and you have to prove that you meet that definition. It gets a little more complicated because with most group disability plans, they have not one, but at least 2 definitions of total disability. The first definition applies for up to 2 years, and then after 2 years, the definition changes. And as you might expect, it's kind of easier to meet the definition in the first 2 years, and it gets harder after the 2 years. So in the first 2 years, most group long-term disability plans focus their definition around this idea of total disability from your own occupation. So for me, it would be that I couldn't do work as a lawyer. After 2 years, that changes, and it would be that to continue to get benefits after 2 years, you have to prove that you are totally disabled from any other occupation. So it's not just that you can't be a lawyer, that you can't do any other type of work as well. So you see it gets harder to prove it. This is why a lot of disability claims get stopped at the 2-year point, because the insurance company will say, well, we agree you can't do your own job, but we think there's other work you could do. Now, it's important to know that the definitions of this own occupation and any occupation are very nuanced. Do not think about it in the terms of how a common use of the word. So for example, when it says own occupation, it literally does not mean your specific job. So it doesn't mean my job working at Resolute Legal. It means David working as a lawyer in general at any law firm, that's what it would be. So it's not your specific job with your specific people and your boss and that kind of thing. It's your occupation. On the other hand, this idea of any occupation, it does not literally mean any occupation. It does not mean that you think of the most menial, easy job out there and that you would, as long as you could do that, you wouldn't qualify. It's not that at all. It's very nuanced. It is based on your prior education, your prior work history, and often there is this income threshold where they will basically consider you to be totally disabled from any occupation unless you can earn above a certain level of money. It is often the case that you could be able to work and earn a certain amount of money, but if you're below this threshold where they define they will define it based on what you used to earn in your old job, you could still be considered to be totally disabled even though you're able to work and earn money. I once had a client who earned a lot of money and had a very good LTD plan. So she was earning around $250,000 or more a year. And with her plan, she would be considered to be totally disabled from any occupation as long as she couldn't earn over $125,000 a year. So her income threshold was $125,000. Now that was so high because her pre-disability income was so high. But it shows you, it's not this idea that she can't do any work. She would have had to been able to do any work where she could earn $125,000 or more. Now that's an extreme example, but in your own situation, it's possible that you will have an income threshold that will usually be indexed somewhere between 50 to 65 or so % of your pre-disability income. But again, that's not written in stone, and you should seek legal advice on whether your plan has such an income threshold and what would any occupation look like for you. So there you have it. This 2-year thing you've heard about, it really just refers to the changing of the definition of total disability. And it goes from any own occupation to any occupation, and you can see how it gets harder to prove that, although it's not as hard as many people think because these definitions are very nuanced. You should always seek legal advice when you're approaching this 2-year point because you probably have misconceptions about what it means to be totally disabled from any occupation. Your doctor may, and certainly the insurance company is not going to necessarily point out the most favorable interpretation for you. Now, if you want to learn more, click on down below and hit some of our free information. We have guides and books that you can download. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification and leave some comments and follow up with our videos that come out once or twice a week. Look forward to seeing you next time.